My name is RG, and today we're back with the You'll Never Guess What Happened series, where we attempt different fun and silly challenges, and track how they go. Ever since Tilted Towers was removed from the game, you've had countless people speculating each season that we could finally see the return of this infamous POI, and in Season 5, it's finally happened. But there's a twist. With the entire premise of this season being the merging of realities, we've seen a number of old POIs return to the map, with them combining with the current POIs. Because of this, Tilted has merged with Salty Springs, combining to make a brand new POI called Salty Towers. So in today's video, I'm going to be dropping at Salty Towers 10 times to see how it compares to the original Tilted. Will it be just as crazy as before, or will it not be able to live up to the hype? Well, there's only one way to find out. So, let's jump straight into the gameplay. Heading into these 10 games, I think it's fair to say that I was a little apprehensive. Dropping at the latest busy POI hasn't gone well for me in the past. In fact, I attempted to drop 10 times at Stark Industries last season, but it went so poorly that I rage quit. Also, with me not liking the original Tilted Towers or Salty Springs, dropping at a combined version of both sounded horrible to me. So I was expecting some quick deaths, lots of mayhem, and for me to potentially rage quit once again. But to my surprise, Game 1 starts off really well, as I'm able to get a few early kills. I want to get a real feel for the new Tilted, so I spend almost all of the game here, waiting for players to cross my path. Thankfully, the action almost never lets up. Eventually, I'm forced to leave Salty Towers. With me coming out of there with 6 kills, there's a chance I could finish with a double-digit win, so I'm pushing every single player that I see. However, the lobby dies off before I can kill everyone, leading to me heading into the final 1v1 on 8 kills. A 10 kill win might be off the cards, but I still need to secure the dub. Can I start off the video with a win? You love to see it. When dropping at Tilted, having control of the main building means that you can see all over the POI and take free shots at people moving around. With this being a great position to be in, it makes the building one of the most contested. Despite this, I decided to land there in Game 2, and to my surprise, I'm the first one there. This is one of the quieter Tilted drops, but I still decide to stay there for as long as possible, waiting for any stragglers. During the winter event, you can find a number of chests at the Christmas trees, so I always made sure that I checked there to see if I could snag some free loot. But on this occasion, a player got there before me, so they had to die. There weren't too many people at Tilted in Game 2, but with it being at such a central spot on the map, and surrounded by other POIs, it meant that I'd often find people around the outskirts. Once again, I make it to the final 1v1 on 8 kills, and I'm full of confidence. I've got the high ground, great loot, and almost max materials, so I've got everything I need to win this match. It might not be the most skilled tactic, but I decide to spam away at my opponent's builds, assuming that I'll have more ammo than he has materials.
"2,000 years later."
At this point, I've got two options: die of boredom whilst my opponent continues to build, or push in for the kill. So I decide to do the latter. The next game starts like a whirlwind, as I'm challenged out of nowhere, before I've even had time to put on my shield.
Oh!
Ooh, you're hard, showing off.
Shortly after, before I'm able to put on a medkit, another player decides to join me in the house. That was such a crazy start to the match, but thankfully, I'm still alive. Now, I just need to find some shield and an SMG. Then with a bit of luck, I might be able to get my third win in a row.
No!
Okay, maybe not. When landing at Tilted, I generally try to land in an uncontested spot, preferably on a shotgun or an SMG, something that would help in a close range fight. Although sometimes I'd have to settle for a harpoon. Once I'd looted an area, if I couldn't hear any gunfire, I'd make my way to the slurp truck, just outside of Tilted, as it would give me full shield for free. On the way there, I decided to stop off at the Christmas tree to see what Santa was treating me to. However, I must have been on the naughty list, as all I received was pain and misery. One of the biggest reasons why I wasn't a fan of the original Tilted was that it was far too busy, and although there was a lot of loot, I could often find myself forced to use horrible early game weapons, or running around with no weapon at all, which could be really frustrating, as it would get you killed.
No! 1 HP! No!
This wasn't as big of an issue at Salty Towers, as I was generally able to find a decent amount of loot. However, there were a couple games where I was unable to find a shotgun.
No! Oh my god, just give me a shotgun game, please.
Back when Tilted was originally in Fortnite, it used to dominate the game. Every single season, it was the busiest POI, so naturally, it was very popular. However, I don't think it was healthy for the game, as it meant that if you wanted to get a lot of kills and guarantee action, then you were pretty much forced to drop there, causing a lot of the other POIs to be empty. In comparison, Salty Towers is a lot quieter compared to the original Tilted, which I do prefer. There are still a lot of people dropping there, but it's more manageable now. You're far less likely to be killed without any loot. The style of play at Tilted has changed a considerable amount since it was first in the game. I remember watching the legendary battles between Nick Mercs and Aiden at Tilted and being mind blown by how Aiden would build and edit inside buildings. It seems so crazy to me, but now this is the norm. When you're in a congested space, focusing on piece control is so important, as it can make it hard for your opponent to maneuver around and protect themselves. In Game 8, Tilted was the quietest I've seen it, meaning that I was able to leave the POI with some great loot. I might not have got many kills there, but with me coming out of Tilted with everything I need, it meant that I could slay out for the rest of the match, until yet again I found myself 1v1 against the final player. I've got a great view of the circle, but I still have no idea where he is. Once I see that I've been targeted for a bounty, I know exactly where my opponent is, as the NPC who gave out the bounty is directly below me. Because of this, I'm able to secure yet another victory royale. So despite going into these 10 games feeling really apprehensive about it, I've managed to land at Tilted every single game, yet come out of it with 3 wins. This is definitely not what I was expecting, even though this one was one to forget. Despite the very concept of a tilted salty hybrid filling me with dread, I'd say that I'm a big fan of Salty Towers, and not just because I did well there, even though I would be lying if I said that wasn't a factor, but I just enjoyed the general flow of games when I landed there. There was always loot available, and I knew that if I didn't get any shield, I could just run to one of the slurp trucks just outside the POI. Once I'd gotten myself some decent early game loot, I could get some action whenever I wanted, as there were usually plenty of people in the nearby area. Overall, I'd say that this is one of the best iterations of Tilted. Better than Tilted Town, the original Tilted, and we don't even need to talk about Neo Tilted. Sadly, I suspect that Salty Towers will be gone by next season, but, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I think I'm gonna miss it. I really enjoyed my 10 games landing there, and since recording this video, I've landed at Tilted quite a few times, just for the fun of it, so I'll be sad to see it go.
No! What? Oh my god.
So that's the end of the 10 games. I wasn't able to end with another win, but I'm still happy with how I performed. Landing at busy POIs makes it a lot harder to get wins, so for me to come out with 3 victory royales, which is a new record for this series, I'm delighted with how it went. Currently, I'm having a lot of fun this season, with Salty Towers being one of the season's best aspects for me, so I hope I continue to enjoy it, and I'm excited to see what else Epic has in store for us. So, what do you think of the new Tilted? And would you like it to remain in the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you want to support me as a content creator, then feel free to use my creator code, which is on the screen now. So anytime you buy something in the item shop and use my code, it'll go directly towards supporting the channel, which would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.